Okay. All right, so I've figured out the number of days. Now I need to figure out what the overdue fee is. So it says that rentals are allowed for 3 days, and for each day late there is a $9 overdue fee charged. So really, if this difference is 3 days or less, we don't have to do anything, right? The overdue fee is 0. And so let's start with that because that's the easiest. So we can just say if the number of days is less than or equal to 3, then we can just simply return 0. And that's pretty straightforward. If it's not, then we have to do a computation, right? We need to figure out what we need to return. So, and this will just be a simple computation. It's really going to just be the number of days minus 3, because the 3 is for free, right? Times 109. Now we need to fix this up a little because we don't want that multiplication to happen first. So let's put parentheses around days minus 3. So we compute how many days get an overdue fee and we multiply that by 109. And that's our computation, and we can simply return that. And that's straightforward. That's how all we have to do is compute the difference, decide whether there's a fee. If there's not, return a 0. If there is a fee, then do it. Let me just warn you up front. Let's execute it, make sure it works before I tell you more details. Oh, I did the highlight again. When it's highlighted, it only executes that part. Okay, so syntactically it says it's correct. And let's go ahead and run these tests. So notice how we call it. Here I'm just having it printed out. So I'm going to do a new query. And I'm going to make sure to use the right database because it won't exist in the others. And you remember how we call a function? We use its name, but we must use the schema when we're calling a function. Otherwise, it'll think it's looking for a built-in function. So if you haven't changed it, your schema will be DBO, which stands for database owner. And then you need to send whatever parameters is. And so this is a rental date and this is a return date. So let's go ahead and execute that and see what we get. Oh, there it is. I highlighted it again. See, I do it all the time. Okay, so it returned $9, which is what we expected. That's 4 days, so we expect 1 day would be an overdue fee, and that would be $9. Let's try the next one. Oh, and that one we got 0 on the 29th and came back on the 2nd, so that's 3 days. So that one's good. And let's try this one. This one is a longer overdue, and we got 327. So it's working exactly how we want. Okay, I'll go back now and tell you the one detail that I was concerned about. One of the things that's required about a function is the last statement must be a return. So it's really common to say, well, if there's no, I could do an if else, right? If days are less than or equal to 3, then I could do that, or else I could do this. And this would be a common thing to do, to organize it in an if-else way. And if I do that and execute it, then it says this is an error. The last statement included within a function must be a return statement. And the last statement actually is an if statement. It's this if-else statement because that's a complete statement. And it's not the return. So this produces an error. So the only way I can do it is to actually take the return outside of that else statement. And it works out the same because if this condition is true, it's going to return and be gone and will never get here. So it won't get here anyway if this condition is true. So it works out fine, but just know that that's part of a function, that the last command must be a return statement.